The politics card got 3 primary abilities. First off, you get to choose who becomes speaker, and you can choose either yourself or somebody else at the table. But if you take it for yourself, then you get 2 benefits. The first one is that you get to select strategy card as the first person in the next game round. And secondly, you get to vote last in the agenda phase. And that means that your votes can potentially determine the outcome of an agenda. And that gives you an opportunity to negotiate deals with some of the other players, so you can earn either some trade goods or some other goods. And lastly, you get to break the tie in case both outcomes of an agenda has an equal amount of votes. You can, if you want, also sell the speaker token, and that could for instance be to the person on your right, and that person is very often interested in getting it, because if you have the speaker token, then he gets to pick strategy card as the last one in the next game round. So it is of high value for him to actually get that speaker token. Then he gets to select strategy card first, and you get to pick as the second one. And you can, as part of that deal, try to agree on what strategy card he cannot pick because you want that. Just remember that it is non-binding because you cannot resolve that part of the transaction at this very moment.
Second, you get to draw 2 action cards. These cards are always potentially good for you. Sometimes you get action cards that are not really relevant for you at this point in the game, but they will never be bad. So having more of these on your hand gives you a chance to do something unexpected to your opponents, and you can use them to blackmail other players as well. So for instance, blue player, I will not play this reactor meltdown where I can destroy one of your space docks if you pay me 2 trade goods, and often they will do that, and then you get to keep your card, and then you can either use them on the blue player again later in the game, but that will probably make you an enemy for the rest of the game, or you can use it on some other player. And drawing 2 action cards is also the secondary ability of this card. The other players just need to pay a command token to do so.
And lastly, you get to look at the 2 top agendas in the agenda deck, and you also get to decide whether they should be placed on top, at the bottom, or one each place. That's entirely up to you. But if you place both of them at the bottom of the deck, then you can be pretty sure that they won't come up in this game. I don't think I ever experienced that we went through all the agendas in a single game. And when we enter the agenda phase and you have placed one or both of the agendas on top of the deck, then you can distribute your votes accordingly. Well, if you remember what you read on the agendas like 30 minutes ago, and hopefully you can get the desired outcome. In the end game, the primary reason to pick the politics strategy card is to become speaker yourself. So let's say you're a runner-up for winning the game, and you think you're about to enter the second last game round, then you can pick the politics strategy card, because then you will pick strategy card as the first one in the last game round, and then you can get, for instance, leadership, so you have a low initiative number, and that means you will score first in the status phase, and that will secure you the victory in case you and maybe one or more other players are about to score the last point. Getting 2 action cards is always interesting because they can give you some superpowers, but it's random what you get, so pray to the Megator Rex custodians that you get something good. And lastly, looking at the top 2 agendas in the agenda deck is of course interesting to do, but I doubt anybody would ever pick the politics strategy card just for that. There are simply too many agendas in the deck, so looking at 2 of them will probably not affect the outcome of the game.